In this training video, we will cover basic navigation of the Insights app and then shift focus to the metrics feature of Insights. The Insights app is where any employee of a company can log in and see sales metrics, targets, goals, contests, and a few other details. Any employee that is an active user in the admin panel can log into the app. And for any users that can log into the admin panel, they will use the same login for the app. Keep in mind that what we are able to view and access in the app depends on the user type. We are currently logged in as an owner user type, which has full access. First to cover is the general navigation of the app. When we log into the app, which can be done from the mobile app itself or on a computer, we will land on the main metrics page. The metrics page will show a snapshot of the business performance. This is where we'll be able to access other features and dive into the metrics of the location and staff. The main menu icon is here in the top left. Tapping on it will show the menu where we can access the other areas of Insights. Reporting is where businesses can run, send, download, and view any configured reports that have been created for their account at their request. The profile page is where users can update their personal info. Every employee with an Insights login can set a picture for themselves here. While optional, this is quite useful for larger companies by putting a name to a face. The Accounts tab in the profile will show the user which business they are logged into the Insights account for. This tab is also where mind-body employees, such as support or implementation team members, will find and access different accounts to impersonate while assisting customers when logged in as a super user. We don't see the option to search for other accounts right now because I am logged in as a business owner. In Settings, users can easily set targets, goals, and contests for the most important metrics for the business and get real-time insights on how the business is tracking. There are also a couple of other options in the main menu, including where to log out. And that's it for this tour. We will be diving into the different areas of the app in the different training classes for Insights. For now, let's shift our focus to metrics. The metrics page of the Insights app is the hub for all the accounts KPIs or metrics. These will be the same KPIs found in the admin panel. After logging in, users will land on metrics, and every account will always default to the total sales net KPI or metric. In this year-over-year section, we will see a bar chart. We can tap the three dots here and change the way we're viewing this by switching the chart to a classic style bar graph, which will show one bar for each district or location that the business has. Below the bar chart, we will see all the districts that are connected to the Insights account. Remember, districts can be used by multi-location businesses that want to group locations in a region together, and each district will have its own section for reporting here in the app. Just know that if the business does not use districts, or if it's a single location, we would see locations here instead of districts. We can see that I have two bars here, one for each district. We can collapse this chart all together if we want to, but I will go back to the snapshot view so we can start to dig into the metrics. Below the chart are a few numbers. These numbers are for the overall company combined, so it's looking at all the locations of the business connected to the Insights account. This number is the company's current total sales for today. The CY means it's the number from the current year, and the number below shows the total sales on the same date of last year. This gives a business the chance to immediately see how they are doing in comparison to last year, which is what LY stands for. This number at the top left lets us know how much the business needs to sell to meet last year's total sales, or how much the business is over from last year's sales, and below is the percentage the company is up or down by when compared to last year's total sales for this day. And just a note, these numbers will correlate with any metric we are viewing. If we wanted to switch to the service sales net metric, the data will update accordingly, and it's an instant update, so we don't have to wait for the app to load for a few moments before we see those numbers change. This bar chart will change colors depending on how the business is doing with this total sales net metric. This will be empty when last year's sales are 0, even if we have sales from this year. It will be red when this year's sales are less than last year's sales, and when it's green, it means this year's sales are higher than last year's sales. The bar representing LY sales will proportionately shrink as the business surpasses those numbers in sales. And just a note, when filtering out a year-over-year comparison, Insights is actually doing the specific day of the week relation, and the year-over-year comparison will be from 52 weeks ago, allowing for a more exact comparison. As we look below the chart, we will see each of the districts, like in this account, or just locations, depending on the account, that are making up these totals at the top. Whichever we are viewing, there will be numbers on the right that we can interact with. The top number will show the current day's totals, and the bottom shows how much more is needed to sell to beat last year's totals. It's the same data as we see in the chart above. To see last year's totals, tap on this metric result to change the view. Now it's showing the percentage the business is up or down by from last year's sales, and tap again to see what the total was last year, which makes this the goal for today. Currently, we are viewing the districts in order of who has the highest total sales to the lowest, and can switch this by clicking on the arrow indicator here. We can also tap on the words current year to order this by last year or name. Across from that, on the right is another option to sort the order of the districts here. Currently, it is showing all districts. Tapping on it again would give us the ability to see the first 10, 25, or 100 districts or locations, depending on how big the business is. And we also have 3 dots here at the top right of this card that we can tap on to dig more into the comparisons and do a month-over-month comparison. We will get into this in a moment. If a business wants to see how one district is doing, we can tap on the icon on the left of the district to flag it, and now the data has updated at the top and only showing the total sales for this one district. There are filtering options at the bottom of this page, the date and time frame. By default, this will show today's date, and we can change the date from here by tapping on the date in the bottom left. We can see what date range we are reviewing this by tapping on the D in the bottom center. Selected date is the default here, which means that since we picked today's date, this will show us the sales for today only, with a comparison of sales from the same day of the previous year. Let's go through the other options here. Week to date will show how the business has done so far this week. Month to date will show how the business has done from the first of the month to this date here. Quarter to date will show how the business has done from the beginning of the quarter until now. Year to date will show how the business has done from January 1st to this date. And just notice how easily and quickly these numbers update. There is hardly any downtime between these comparisons. If the business wanted to see a month-to-date comparison, tap on the month-to-date filter at the bottom. Then tap on the 3 dots here to view other options on how to compare metrics. The time periods here change based on the filter at the bottom. Since that is set to month to date, these options will be based on month also. We can compare this month to date year over year, month to date with previous month, entire month with the previous month, and to the same day of the previous month. For this example, we will tap month to date previous month. The numbers and snapshot will update, and now we can compare and see that this month has already beat sales from last month. The steps we just covered for this month-to-date comparison can be used for any date range comparison. There is one more sort option to cover. The numbers on the bottom right will change as different dates, date ranges, and metrics are shown. As we tap on these, the bottom number will cycle through how much sales are up or down by, the percentage sales are up or down, and the total sales for the last period, which is what LP stands for. We are seeing LP instead of LY because the month-to-date filter is still active. As I mentioned, the default metric is total sales net, but we can switch to another metric by tapping Total Sales Net at the top. From the drop-down, scroll through the list and tap another metric. The app will immediately update to show the information for it. Users can also swipe left or right to switch metrics. To see more details and metrics, tap on a district from the list. When viewing a district, we will see all of the metrics. We can tap on any of these to view more details. Just like we can switch metrics, we can switch districts by tapping on the name at the top or with a swipe to the left or right. We can tap on the Total Sales Net metric to take a deeper look at what is making up the numbers and which location or employee is making the most. Here, it's showing the total sales net for the locations in this district. All the ways to change the chart and sort and filter everything in this locations view works exactly like it does when viewing districts. If a business wants to compare a couple of locations, we can tap on the icons on the left of the locations to flag them for comparison. And now the data has updated and only showing the total sales net for these locations. We can change the metric from the drop-down at the top or swiping left or right. To see metrics for a single location, tap on a location. We will still see any goals and contests at the top, and below are the metrics. And you may have already noticed, but all the filtering options from the main metrics view are also available here to use. Let's tap on Total Sales Net. This view is listing employees from highest to lowest based on the current year's total sales. To reverse the order, tap the arrow here. We can also sort by name or by last year's metric values. To see more details about an employee, tap on their name. At the top, we see the employee's name, phone number, photo, and primary location. Here's a tip. If a service provider works at more than one location on a regular basis, the location listed in this use case, which is by tapping into a specific location, will show the name of the initial location tapped on under the phone number. However, when viewing all staff, any employee that works at 2 or more locations will display multi-location. The location shown is there to let users know what set of data is being viewed for that employee, a single location or all locations. Tap on the photo to see a bigger image. Tap on the phone or message icons to call or text the employee. This will initiate a phone call or a message that the user can send to the employee as a way to encourage and support them. Below their info, any goals and contests would be listed, and below that, we will see the year-over-year metrics for this one employee. We can continue to filter, sort, and/or change the date and time frame. We can switch employees by tapping on the name at the top and tap on the employee from the list. We can also swipe left or right. And this is as far as we can drill down here in an individual employee's view. But there is one other way to get a deeper analysis of an employee's metrics. To dig deeper into a specific metric for an employee, tap and hold the metric. When we do, a pop-up appears asking to run a deeper analysis. Click Confirm to continue. The default view of this analysis is the total amount for this metric based on this date range selected, and we can choose another date range from the options here. The custom date range in this deeper dive is handy for 2-week pay periods, which the regular date range functionality does not support. Service providers can use it as a visual image to correlate with what they know has happened for them or the business for the past date range chosen. This can be viewed daily or in total. With daily, it resets to 0 for each day, and we would see a series of valleys and peaks, as opposed to the total view, which will show a growing line since that is an ongoing calculation. The total chart will have 2 lines on it. The black line is the metric from last year, and the blue one is for this year. Users can quickly see how this metric compares to last year based on the date ranges to choose from here. If the black line isn't showing, it's because the employee doesn't have any data from last year to compare to. We can tap on the line in the chart to see a few more details. At the top left is this year's and last year's total sales. On the right is the date we tapped on, and below is the actual difference in dollars, or delta, amount. This deep dive analysis can also be done from the district and location views. We can go back to the previous page by tapping the arrow at the top left. When there is a little green dot on an employee, it means the employee is providing a service right now, and that can be helpful for a manager that's on the go and wants to quickly see who is in a service right now. Also, while we're here on the employee view, let's cover the flash menu. It's the lightning bolt icon in the top right and will always show in the metrics page, but the options shown in the flash menu will change based on what view of the metrics we are in. The flash menu in the employee view will show every option. We can quickly get back to the district or location views by tapping All Districts or All Locations. We can view all staff to see a list of all employees from all locations. We can text all employees or tap on the icon on the left of each one to select a group of employees to text. If we have selected employees, the option to clear selected shows in the flash menu. And the search option allows users to type into the search field at the top to quickly find a district, location, or employee, depending on the current page the user is on. And that wraps up the metrics area of Insights. As you can tell, there are a lot of different ways to view and dig into the metrics, and you are encouraged to log into one of the Insights demos available and play around with it. That's it for this training video. Thanks for watching.